Hello everyone, welcome to Business School 101. Costs are the monetary value of the resources used by a business to produce goods or services. They are a critical component of business operations and financial management. Understanding and managing costs effectively is essential for profitability and competitive advantage. So what are the most common types of costs in business operations? How can we understand them? Are there any real-world examples? In this video, I will discuss these questions with you. Types 1. Fixed costs. These are costs that do not change with the level of output produced or services provided by a business. They are incurred regardless of the volume of production or sales. Some common fixed costs include: Number 1. Rent. It refers the cost of leasing or owning a space for business operations. Number 2. Salaries and wages. It refers payments to permanent staff that do not fluctuate with production levels. Number 3. Insurance premiums. It refers payments for insurance coverage, such as property insurance or liability insurance. Number 4. Depreciation. It refers the gradual decrease in value of assets over time, such as machinery or equipment used in production. Type 2. Variable costs. These costs vary directly with the level of output. The more units you produce, the higher your variable costs. Examples include: Number 1. Raw materials. It refers the cost of materials used in production, which increases as more units are produced. Number 2. Direct labor. It refers payments to workers directly involved in the production process, such as hourly wages for assembly line workers. Number 3. Utilities. It refers expenses for services like electricity, water, and gas, which may increase with higher production levels. Number 4. Sales commissions. It refers payments to sales staff based on the volume or value of sales made. Types 3. Direct costs. These are costs that can be directly traced to the production of a specific product or service. They are often linked to the materials or labor used in production. Example 1. The cost of steel used in manufacturing a car is a direct cost because it can be directly traced to the production of each car. Example 2. The cost of a specific type of cheese used in a gourmet pizza is a direct cost because it can be directly attributed to the production of that pizza. Types 4. Indirect costs. They are also known as overhead costs. These are costs that cannot be directly traced to the production of a specific product or service. They are shared across all products or services. Example 1. A factory's maintenance costs for machinery are indirect costs because they are used for the production of various products, not just one. Example 2. Office supplies like paper and printer ink for a law firm are indirect costs, as they are used by all employees, not just those working on a specific case. Type 5. Semivariable costs. These costs have both a fixed and a variable component. They have a minimum cost that doesn't change with output, but beyond a certain level of output, the cost increases. Example 1. A call center has a base cost for operation plus a per-call charge, making the cost semi-variable. Example 2. An electricity bill for a gym might have a flat rate plus a per-unit charge based on usage, which could increase with more equipment use. Type 6. Sunk costs. Sunk costs are expenses that have already been incurred and cannot be recovered, regardless of any future actions or decisions. In business, sunk costs are those that have already been spent on past investments, projects, or activities and cannot be refunded or recouped. Example 1. A movie studio has invested $50 million in a film that has been completed but has not performed well at the box office. The money spent on production is a sunk cost. Example 2. A startup has spent $2 million developing a mobile app that failed to gain traction. The money spent on development is a sunk cost. Type 7. Opportunity costs. These are the cost of foregoing the next best alternative when making a decision. This cost is not always reflected in financial statements but represents the value of the foregone opportunity. Example 1. A farmer chooses to grow wheat instead of corn. The opportunity cost is the potential profit that could have been earned from growing corn. Example 2. An investor decides to invest in a tech startup instead of a blue-chip stock. The opportunity cost is the potential return from the stock. Type 8. Out-of-pocket costs. Out-of-pocket expenses are costs that an individual is responsible for paying that may or may not be reimbursed later. The term is most often used to describe an employee's work-related expenses that the company later reimburses. For example, employees frequently cover their own business-related travel costs, which may include airfare, car rentals, meals, and necessary work supplies. Employers typically reimburse these out-of-pocket costs through an approved company process. Type 9. Marginal costs. These are the additional cost incurred by producing one more unit of a good or service. Marginal costs are important in decision-making processes, especially when determining optimal production levels or pricing strategies. Here are some examples of marginal costs across various industries. Number 1. Manufacturing. Suppose a factory produces bicycles. The marginal cost would be the additional cost incurred in producing one more bicycle, including the cost of additional raw materials, labor, and energy. Number 2. Service industry. Consider a taxi service. The marginal cost for the taxi company would be the cost of operating one additional taxi for a certain period, including fuel, maintenance, and driver wages. Number 3. Software development. In software development, the marginal cost of producing one more copy of a software product is often very low, primarily consisting of distribution costs like server bandwidth or cloud storage usage. To sum up, in this video, we covered the 9 most common types of costs in business operations. These costs include fixed costs. They remain constant regardless of production volume, including rent, salaries, insurance, and depreciation. Variable costs. They change with output levels, such as raw materials, direct labor, utilities, and sales commissions. Direct costs. They are traceable to specific products or services, like the steel in a car or cheese in a pizza. Indirect costs, or overhead. They are shared across products, like factory maintenance or office supplies. Semi-variable costs. They have a base level with additional per-unit charges, such as a call center's operation fees plus per-call charges. Sunk costs. They are past expenses that can't be recovered, like the budget for a poorly performing film. Opportunity costs. They represent the value of the next best alternative not chosen, like the potential profit from an alternative crop. Out-of-pocket costs. They are personal expenses that may be reimbursed, like an employee's travel costs. Marginal costs. They are the extra costs of producing one more unit, important for production and pricing decisions. Understanding these costs helps in effective financial planning and strategic decision-making. Alright, that's all for today's topic. If you have any questions regarding this video, please leave your thoughts in a comment below. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.